Hi, I'm Josh Kendrick. I am a safety manager with Wall Street Systems, and I'm going to take you through a mock scenario day using the ELD. We're going to start by getting you logged into the system. If you don't see your name as recent logins on the screen, simply hit the search icon on the top right. First initial of your first name, for me it's J, a period, and the start of your last name, and search. It brings up all of the JKs for me in the system. My name is Josh Kendrick, so I'm going to select that. It brings up a PIN, which is the driver ID. Enter your driver ID, and the welcome screen appears. Once the welcome screen appears, the select your duty status screen appears. This is the exact same as your logbook, the 4 lines on your logbook. We're not going to worry about the 2 at the bottom just yet. We'll explain those later in the video. The first is off duty, SB for sleeper berth, D for drive, and on for on duty. The first thing I want you to do every morning is select off duty. The reason for this is it tells you how long you've been off duty. For me, it says 36 hours since off duty. If this number does not reflect 10 hours and 1 minute or more for your 10-hour break, you cannot go on duty. If you do, it will erase all of your off-duty time, and you will have to start your 10-hour break all over again. So the first button we push every morning is off duty. Make sure we have enough time off duty since our last shift, and then select on duty and start our pre-trip inspection. This brings up the main screen, which gives us our 11 hours driving in the day, our 14 hours for our day, and our 70 in our week. That is how we start our day. We would then do our pre-trip inspection and drive off from here. Once we drive off at 5 miles an hour, the ELD kicks us into drive time. Once you start driving and reach 5 miles an hour, the screen on the left will appear. In this case, Matthew Wilson has 7 hours, 31 minutes until his break is due. That first break is your 30-minute break. That's not 7 hours, 31 minutes and then take a break. Sometime before that clock counts to 0, you must take a break. On the right is what you'll see when you come to a stop. The icon circled in red will come up, and if you select that icon by simply touching it on the screen, it will bring you back to your select your duty status. If you were to take your 30-minute break sometime before that clock hits 0, it will reset and count down to the next time that you would go into violation. That could be your 11-hour rule or could be your 14-hour rule, whichever is going to come first. Keep in mind, if you take your 30-minute break too early before the 6th hour of on duty, you may have to take another one if you're working a long day. In our scenario, we've driven off from the yard, bobtailing, and our black screen would appear counting down to our first break. When we stop, the icon will come up in the left corner. You hit the icon and it brings you to select your duty status screen. For this purposes, we're going to a port and we're going to pick up a trailer. This is where we're going to use on YM in the bottom right. On YM stands for on duty yard move. If we hit on duty yard move, it asks for a note. We simply type in port and hit add. Yard move can be used anytime you're not on a public roadway. You cannot use yard move on a public roadway, otherwise you'd be in a false logbook status. You can use it at a customer, at your yard, at a rail yard, or at a port, anywhere that is not open to the public. By selecting on YM for yard move, it allows you to drive over 5 miles an hour and will not burn off your driving time. It will burn off of your 14-hour day. From here, we can simply add a vehicle back into our trailer and go to vehicles. Once we hook up our vehicle, we hit vehicles, trailers, and connect trailer. Type in our trailer number, and hit connect. That trailer now shows that we are connected to it. The back arrow gets us back to our main screen. And anytime we add a vehicle, we have to add shipping papers, even if it's an empty container. Hit add. And add our shipping number. Your load number, your pickup number, your bill of lading number, whatever that may be. Hit add, and now our shipping number is in. Back to our main screen, and we're in on-duty yard move. You can use on-duty yard move until you're ready to exit the facility. Before you exit, you have to remember to bring it out of yard move and put it back into driving yourself, because on-duty yard move will not bring you out of on-duty and put you back into drive. In our scenario, we've picked up our vehicle, our trailer, and entered our trailer numbers. We've entered our shipping documents. We're getting ready to leave the port. We have to remember that we are in on yard move. From yard move, it will not put us into driving. We have to do that ourselves. So simply touch the icon for on yard move and select D for drive. Once we start driving out the gate of the port, the black screen will appear and start counting down until our brake is due. Once we stop, the icon will come up, which looks like this. We push the icon and it brings up our select duty status. For this purposes, we're going to drive to a customer, but we're going to stop for fuel halfway. So when we get to the fuel island, we stop and we select our duty status as on duty because we have to be on duty for fueling. Once we pump the fuel, we get back in the truck and hit vehicles and the fuel tab and enter the gallons that we pumped and hit enter. Back arrow takes us back to our main screen, and that is it. We do not have to calculate mileage in each state because it's GPSed and it knows where you are, how far you've driven in that state, and you just entered how many gallons that you purchased in that state. So all of the IFTA taxes are done for us. From here, it's on duty, and if we simply drive off, it will kick us into driving at 5 miles an hour. In our scenario, we've driven off after getting fuel. Our black screen would appear, counting down until our brake is due. Remember to take that brake before that counter gets to 0. We are driving to a customer. Once we get to the customer, we can then go to select our duty status. For this purposes, we will have backed into the dock and stop the truck and select SB for sleeper berth or off duty to use up our 30-minute break. If we hit SB for sleeper berth, it starts counting our time since off duty. Off duty does the same thing, 0 hours, 00 minutes. This clock needs to count to 31 minutes before you can leave. If you drive off from sleeper berth or off duty, it will automatically put you into drive and it will stop your break. And you will have to start all over again to take a 31-minute break. So we've waited our full 30-minute break. We tell you that the counter must say 31 minutes or more because a 30-minute break does not start and is not complete until the 31st minute. Same with your time off duty between shifts. A full 10-hour break does not start until 10 hours and 1 minute. That is a full 10-hour break. So after our 30-minute break, we then continue driving and we can simply drive off from sleeper berth or off duty and it will put us into drive mode. When it puts us into drive mode, it will then go back to the black screen and count down till our next break is due. That could be your 11-hour rule or your 14-hour rule, whichever comes first. For this scenario, we're going to drive back to the yard and drop the trailer. When we're driving, the black screen would be up and it would be counting down to our next break. When we stop, we hit the icon in the top left corner, which will bring up this screen, which is select your duty status. Again, you can use on duty or on duty yard move. Since you're going to be on private property, you can use on duty yard move or on duty, whichever you choose. For this purposes, we go on duty. Once we drop the trailer, we simply hit the vehicle icon, trailer icon, and drop. It now shows that there are no trailers connected. If we needed to add another one to drop and hook, we would add another trailer by hitting connect trailer and then enter our shipping documents for that trailer. Remember, you have to enter something even if it's an empty trailer. So now we're on duty and we can complete our post-trip inspection, which needs to last at least 15 minutes. Once you complete the post-trip inspection, then we need to remember to do two very important things. One, we need to go off duty, and two, we need to log out of the ELD. If you were to leave this machine in on duty and walk away, it would leave you in on duty all night long and you wouldn't have any hours left to drive when you come in the next day. So to get off duty after our post-trip, hit the on button, select off duty, and it starts a counter. It will count up to 10 hours or more between your shifts. You have to make sure you have 10 hours or more between shifts. Once we have selected off duty, go to the driver tab and log out. It then asks you, do you want to certify your logs? Certifying your logs is simply signing your logbook just as you've always done. We always want to continue, and it says that it hereby certifies that my data entries and my record of duty status for the last 24-hour period are true and correct. We want to agree and hit the back arrow, and now we're logged out. We're going to go through getting inspected for a roadside inspection. There are 3 books that come with the ELD. The ELD user manual, the roadside inspection book, and resolving data diagnostics books. All 3, along with 8 days of blank logs, must be in the truck at all times. When we get inspected, we're going to be on duty, and the officers want to see the logs. We don't want to give him the machine and the roadside inspection book until we put it in roadside inspection mode. If you gave him the machine right now, he would be able to see if you're in violation as it sits. So to get to roadside inspection mode, we hit logs and roadsides. This puts it into roadside inspection mode. Then you can give him the machine and the roadside inspection book. He can export it to himself by emailing it to himself or display it on the screen. If he displays it on the screen, it shows him everything we've done for the day. All of our trailer numbers, all of our shipping information, and he can go through each day. He can look at our logs and count the hours, or go to all events and add up the times on the left-hand side. He can also see if we have certified the logs at the end of our day every day, which we have to do at the end of every day. If the officer accidentally hits the button or tries to get somewhere else in the machine, it takes him back to your PIN number. Simply tell him to hit the back button, and it will take him back to where he needs to be. If you enter your PIN number, it then takes it back to the main screen. You must get it back from logs to roadsides before you give it back to him. Or simply tell him to hit the back button, and it takes him right back where he needs to be. A few key points that need to be covered. If you turn your truck off while using the ELD, it will automatically power down and log you off. It will keep you in the status that you've previously selected. So, for example, if you select on duty, turn the truck off and walk away, the ELD will keep you on duty but log you off of the system. When you get back in the truck, each and every time you need to log in. If you forget to log in and drive away, you will see this screen. Please stop and log in or keep paper logs. If you're using an ELD, keeping paper logs is not an option. If you stop the truck, your name will appear on the screen for the login. Select your name, enter your 4-digit ID, and then go back to driving. Keep in mind that if this screen has appeared, it has already emailed the safety department and let us know that the ELD is in motion and no one has logged in. We need to cover using the truck for personal conveyance, or off PC, as shown in the bottom left-hand corner. You can only use this when you do not have a trailer connected and you are on the way home traveling a short distance. You cannot use this mode while you're coming to work. You can also use it on the weekend if you're using the truck for personal reasons. You cannot use it if you're taking the truck to be washed or to a mechanic to have the truck worked on. That would be on duty time. At the end of your shift, if you're going to drive the truck home and you are bobtail only, you may select off PC at the end of your shift. After you've completed all other paperwork, dropping the trailers, turning in any required paperwork, off PC, it asks you for a note and you can type going home. Or if you use it on the weekend, just type whatever you're doing in this box. Simply type going home, travel a short distance home only while bobtailing, not under dispatch, and you can use it for personal reasons. If you hit add, it starts counting your time off duty. It will count for off duty time anytime you use it in off PC. You just have to remember, if you're going to use it on the weekend, you must log in and select off PC if you're using the truck for personal reasons only.